What's up, guys? Welcome back to Rosie Wrestling. My name is Save.
And I'm Massa.
And today we're going to be talking about Brock Lesnar's historic title run. So just recently he broke the record for the longest world title reign in the modern era. So I'm guessing that's post 2000. Obviously he beat out CM Punk, who's no longer with the company, and obviously there's a little bit of beef between Punk and the company.
Yeah, with lawsuits and all that.
So, we're just going to give our thoughts on the title reign itself. Are people too harsh on the title reign? Is it as bad as what people are saying? And so on. So first, I want to say that I think the main reason why they did this was to kind of get CM Punk out of the record book.
Yeah, right now there's just some beef going on and they don't really want to really speak of him anymore. They're kind of wiping him off because, records are records. So even Santino Marella, who is no longer with the company, still holds the record for the shortest Rumble entry. So I think that's one of the main reasons why they're doing this. But also, they are different titles, which some people tend to forget. They are both main titles, which I think still is the reason why he broke the record. But CM Punk held the WWE Championship and Brock Lesnar held the Universal. But in this case, they're kind of the same because they're both main titles.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the main reasons why. But just looking back at his title run, a lot of people are criticizing it, saying that he only defended the title, I think it was 10 times.
10 times.
While Punk defended it over 100. Now, I looked at it, and it's even less than that, because they were counting house shows and live events. But just looking at it, in terms of televised events, Lesnar defended the title 6 times in 1 year.
Wow.
Punk obviously doing it a lot more often, probably more than double. But looking back at that time period, he fought the likes of Samoa Joe, Great Balls of Fire. He had that amazing SummerSlam match between him, Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, and Samoa Joe. He beat Braun Strowman at No Mercy.
And then the Rumble.
Yeah, and then he just had a really, really long period of time where he didn't defend it. And then obviously the Rumble between Strowman and Kane, and then at WrestleMania.
And then also the Greatest Royal Rumble.
So out of all those matches, you can really only argue that one of them was any good.
Right.
And that was a SummerSlam one.
The Fatal 4-Way.
And that was probably... that was definitely a great match, but was it because of Brock Lesnar? I mean, he had 3 dance partners with him.
Right.
So he hasn't really been reliable in terms of a one-on-one competitor. I mean, he did have that great match with AJ Styles, which I give him credit for.
But that wasn't a title defense.
But that wasn't even a title defense. So looking back at it, is the argument that he's a prize fighter, is that valid? Does that make sense that's why he doesn't defend it that much, and that's why his matches are not that good because they're just short?
See, I don't really know. I don't think that... I know that what Brock Lesnar is capable of. He's had great matches in the past, and some of them aren't that long. Think about at WrestleMania 33 against Goldberg. That was an amazing match, but it was, 5 minutes, less than that? So I know that he's able to do this, but it sometimes feels like it's just the typical Brock match, just suplex after suplex after suplex, sometimes the laziness. When he shows up, he just stands there usually. He doesn't really do much. And I'm personally kind of sick of having a part-time champion. I remember when Miz was the IC champion, it just felt so much more prestigious than the Universal that we only saw a few times a month, or once a month on Raw. I kind of want to see the belt more often. That's why I actually wanted Roman Reigns to win at WrestleMania, and then they kind of screwed everything up with all of that. But I kind of want the main title to feel more important.
I have to completely disagree. I think that it not being on TV every week didn't make it less prestigious. I do agree that we got sick of having a part-time champion, but that's because you want to see the title, but I don't think it made it less important. You look at something like the UFC, where they don't defend their titles that often, so they're not on every card, whether that be the heavyweight or the lightweight champions or whoever. They're still big stars.
But this is not the UFC. This is not...
But they're still champions at the end of the day.
That's true, and I think that...
It's both... I mean, understand one is fake and one is not, but they're both they're both fighting at the end of the day.
I know, but I think what you're trying to say that you don't want the championship to be overexposed to often, and I don't want it to just not ever be on the show. I feel like there needs to be a good balance, a good in-between, because if overexposure is terrible, just ask Roman Reigns. But then you also have the people who are like never there, like Brock Lesnar. And I feel like if he was there a little bit more often, especially with the pay-per-views, like, okay, Raws, maybe sometimes you can skip out on them, but certain pay-per-views, I feel like you should be there, like Money in the Bank. Like, there's nothing going on for the Universal title. Maybe because...
Well, to be fair, there's 2 Money in the Bank matches.
That's true.
There's 1 WWE Championship match. There's, I think, I will give him a pass for Money in the Bank, but I do agree, he, especially last year from, I believe it was September when No Mercy happened, to January, he really was just doing nothing besides that AJ Styles program. So I do agree he should have been in there somewhere. But I do think that I do understand the point of view that, hey, he's a prize fighter and he's beating all these people with ease because he's just going to put over somebody and he's going to lose a title and he's going to make that person feel like $1 million. Similar to someone like Kazuchika Okada. Obviously, Okada has had some amazing matches in his reign. But when he finally lost, it made Kenny Omega look like $1 million.
I hope they end up doing that with Brock Lesnar. I kind of wanted that to happen to Roman, because if you want Roman to be the guy, but now I just don't want him to lose it via Money in the Bank cash-in, because
that would really that would kind of null everything you just did with Lesnar.
Right, and also like the whole like ending the streak, just being dominant for so long and holding the title for so long. You kind of want something for the future, because Lesnar is not going to be around forever. He is 40 now. I don't think that he has that.
On top of that, there's already talks that he's going to go back to the UFC, so he honestly might be gone by SummerSlam. And just looking at it, someone does need to dethrone him. The one big criticism I have with this title reign is not just that he wasn't on TV that much, but the fact that he was beating everyone with one F5.
Right.
And then when he went against Roman, Roman took like 5 or 6 F5s and kicked out of all of them. It's like, if Roman is not going to be the guy to beat Brock, because, listen, he didn't beat him at WrestleMania and he didn't beat him at the Greatest Royal Rumble, then why have him kick out of 5 or 6 F5s? Like, literally making guys like Braun, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, all these guys that Braun went against, making them look like absolute garbage.
Right.
So you're telling me Roman Reigns is 5 times better than those guys? And that's a big reason why a lot of people don't like Roman Reigns, because he does feel like Superman compared to everybody else.
Right. And they're not treating him like if they want him to be the big guy, they're like, oh yeah, he's the big guy, but like, we have nothing to prove. He's not the Universal Champion. He keeps losing to Brock Lesnar. Yes, he kicked out, and that's making people like him even less, and they're kind of just trying to shove him down our throats again, like, oh, he's cool, he's like anti-hero kind of thing, but it's not really paying off.
Yeah, and there's already talk that there's going to be Roman and Brock at SummerSlam.
I really hope that doesn't
happen. Which I completely disagree with, but if we were to say who should dethrone Brock Lesnar, I think there's only one name here, and it has to be Braun Strowman. I mean, he's already a monster. It's believable. I'm sorry, at the end of the day, there needs to be some believability. You can't tell me someone like Finn Balor is going to beat Brock Lesnar. I'm not saying Finn Balor can never be Universal Champion. I believe the opposite. He definitely could be. But the fact that he's going to dethrone Brock Lesnar, it's hard to suspend my disbelief in that way. I think Braun Strowman would be the perfect candidate. He's super over with the fans. And I wouldn't say squash Brock Lesnar. I feel like if they had a really good 25-minute war, no holds barred or whatever at SummerSlam, I think it would be the perfect way for Brock to actually pass down the torch to Braun. But I'm interested to see what happens, because if it is Roman, is Roman finally going to win? But at this point, everyone will already be sick of it.
Right.
But that's it from us. Tell us what you guys think about Brock Lesnar's title reign. Was it better than CM Punk's? I don't think many people will say it is. But just tell us in the comment section below.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Rosie Wrestling. We'll see you guys in our next video. Bye!